Welcome. My name is Dan Ackerman. I'm the Executive Director of the Housing Authority of the City of Salt Lake. Just some quick stats so you don't have to go study the plans on the wall. It's a $14 million permanent supportive housing project. It's hard to do permanent supportive housing. Some direct partners, I kind of feel bad that I'm up here because Give Development is our developer consultant doing a lot of the work. Chris Parker is here. This is some excellent architecture, as you'll see, by Architecture Belgique. Alex Stoddard is here. Fantastic general contractor, Wadman Construction. Even the last 48 hours, they've been fantastic. That's Tyler Holland, Dallin Chambers, Mark Riley. By the way, we've kept the costs down on this project. You may have heard about tax credit projects costing $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a unit. Our costs are less than $140,000 a unit total cost. That includes soft costs.
When the governor chose me to be lieutenant governor 5.5 years ago, I remember feeling very, very overwhelmed. I wasn't exactly sure what a lieutenant governor is or does, and I'm still not sure, and neither is most of Utah, so we're okay there. But what I do remember is getting a list of all of the committees that I was a part of, and there were about 40 committees, and I chaired about half of them. And I remember looking down that list, and I'm like, no, I don't know what that is, I don't know what that is, I don't know what that is. And one of them was the State Homeless Coordinating Committee. And I remember just talking to one of my staff members saying, I don't know anything about homelessness. I'm from a very small town in rural Utah. This is not an issue that we deal with, mostly because if someone is struggling and can't find a home, they come here, right? They come to Salt Lake. And I said, I know nothing about this. They said, don't worry, do you know Pamela? And I didn't at the time. I was brand new, and I had heard her on the radio a few times. She has a very distinct voice and accent, and so I got introduced to Pamela, and she said, don't worry, I will teach you everything you have to know about homelessness. And Pamela, I don't know if you remember that morning, very early, you took me, and we went everywhere around the city. You said you have to see these places. I had never heard the phrase permanent supportive housing. I didn't know what that meant. And she instructed me, but more important than all of that, than showing me what homeless services were about, she said, the most important thing is you have to meet my friends. And my homeless friends. And so everywhere we went, people said, hello, Pamela, and she knew them by name, and she would tell me their story. And that day changed my life. And I knew after that, I still didn't know what the other 39 committees were about, but I knew that this one mattered, and it mattered because it mattered to Pamela and her homeless friends.
She's been a champion for housing needs throughout the state, and so many different ways of helping to lift people up. And all along the way, she talks about her friends. Lieutenant Governor talked about, we got to take you out, introduce you to some of my homeless friends. Everybody's a friend to Pamela. No matter what your station in life, you're her friend. She understands, in fact, that whether it's my homeless friends, my refugee friends, my friends at the clinic, my friends in poverty, everyone is her friend. And that's how she treats everybody. With that kind of respect and that kind of love, it's a lesson for all of us. Is there any doubt in anybody's mind why I refer to, and many of you do too, that Pamela Atkinson is the Mother Teresa of Utah?
We appreciate all of the providers. I feel part of so many teams. Some people ask me which agency I work with, and I work with so many different agencies, and then I am grateful to be part of their teams. A couple of sessions ago, one of the legislative fiscal analysts, after I testified, asked me who I worked for, and I didn't know what to say, but I remember what somebody else had said, and so I finally said, I work for God. And that was acceptable, actually. It went down all right, so we got what we wanted at that point. But thank you to everybody, from the state to the non-profits, to my church, our two pastors are here, to everybody who's part of the team. There are so many agencies. We've appreciated how you have turned people's lives around what you have actually done to make a difference in people's lives. I had an enthusiastic greeting from some homeless friends who came over from Sunrise just a bit ago. It has truly turned their lives around. They're not out on the streets. They're not in bad health. And this remembrance garden that will be part of this, when people come into housing, sometimes they do have chronic diseases, but they can be better cared for and have a few extra years of life because we all cared and because we made a difference with housing. Today belongs to this building and what this building is going to do for 100 of our homeless friends who are going to take those steps out of homelessness in this building that's going to be built right here, and with the case managers and the experts who are going to help them turn their lives around.